one of the takeaways that has taken some time for us to learn is that like, while all roads lead to building owners, they start with their service providers. And what that means is that what I often hear is a building owner say something like, oh my gosh, I love your company. I love the service. This is incredible. I need my architects and my engineers, my contractors to use this. And so what I find is that owners need their design professionals, their builders, to embrace the digitization process. It makes sense because what we found is the wedge into digitizing your building often comes from either an organization that is about to acquire one building, and it turns out they have no idea what they're about to acquire, or many buildings. And so that's a great time to digitize what you're about to acquire, to verify that what the seller is telling you is in fact what you're about to acquire. Oftentimes, you'd be surprised, folks are making multi-million dollar purchases on very large buildings with really shady data, whether it's building floor plans from 1977 to a few spreadsheets that no one's really verified about, like the furniture systems involved. And like, that's how these transactions are happening. And it's actually kind of insane. So it makes sense that acquisitions is an important kind of wedge in why you should digitize your building. The next phase also makes sense. You acquire a building, and oftentimes you want to reposition that building. An example of this is I acquired a completely empty office tower, and my goal is to then convert it into housing, right? Something in demand. So I need to, one, have accurate documents as to the current state of the situation. So then my architects can use that information to redesign the space. So renovations is also a strong wedge in when you should digitize your building. Now, of course, there's downstream reasons. Once you've acquired it, once you've renovated it and built it out, there's reasons why facilities managers, operations managers may need this information, whether it's mechanical drawings, architectural systems, furniture systems, right, for the accurate inventory, procurement of, furniture and equipment. But those are usually kind of some of the two most important wedges there. When we speak to architects, it's actually a relatively smooth story. It's like, hey, you've got a project, you're the owner, you've hired me as an architect. And the first question I'm going to ask Anne is, do you have any existing plans of your house? You may say, no, I need some help. Then I'm going to be like, okay. So Anne's hired me to redesign her house, but it turns out she doesn't even have plans. So now as an architect, I have to then spend a lot of time surveying your house. That time is 30-40% of what you might be paying me, not to design your house, just simply to answer what you actually have, right? And so what we hear from a lot of architects, it says something like, we love IPX because, you're doing a service that I kind of have to do, but I bring really no value add to my customers. They don't want me to be spending 30-40% of my time, surveying your space. I would rather start on the 50-yard line. And so with architects and engineers, we're doing a service for them that really just kind of takes a lot of the unsexiness off the table and allows them to just start on the 50-yard line. Like, hey, here's an accurate set of 3D, Revit files, 2D CAD files, whichever you prefer, use it. But from there you can start on, and then I can, on day one, start actually redesigning your house instead of having to spend a few days, weeks trying to determine what you actually have before I can propose something for you. Now, imagine if every building owner had their own set of plans, right? That would make everyone's lives easier. It would make Anne's life easier because you wouldn't have to be paying me so much to then either have to do that work or subcontract that work to someone else. And it just kind of helps everyone just move a lot faster.